sure the feed actually starts and has audio and all the stuff and the things to make sure it's working. And it is working. All right. And Dementia Radio now, and recording in 3, 2, 1.
Recorded live on DementiaRadio.org, it's the Funny Music Podcast, brought to you by FuMP.com, where you can download new free comedy songs twice a week. Now, here's your hosts, Devo Spice and the great Luke Ski.
Hey, Devo Spice!
Hey, Luke Ski!
We have Dr. Z and Dr. Pinkerton of the Consortium of Genius, otherwise known as the COG!
COG! Welcome, COG. So nice to have you guys on live this time. Welcome to episode 724 of the Funny Music Podcast for May 2nd, 2024. The title of this week's episode is Imaginary Lawyer, which I just put in the chat. And your job, should you choose to accept it, is to work that into our conversations somehow. So.
Challenge accepted.
Excellent.
Imaginary lawyer. Not like that, Dr. Z. You have to have some sense of subtlety.
Really?
Yes, you have to say something like, that Lobsterzilla. That must be copyrighted by somebody. Somebody imaginary. You'd better call their lawyer. You know, something like that. Silence! You try it.
Huh?
That counts. I'll give you that one.
You'd better.
All right, so let's do the catch-up thing.
Ketchup?
Let's get caught up with what Devo and Luke have been up to since last week. Or else Devo, if Luke bailed and didn't show up.
Hey, what?
No, he's right.
So, Luke, what you been up to?
Working my dumb job. That's about it. I don't have anything new or exciting to report. Other than, somebody took one of my songs and did a cover of it and then extended it. So, there's that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Yes. Also, earlier today, it's like, okay, I'm already going to San Diego Comic-Con this year, which, is one of those things where you have to, get up at a certain time and go to a website and jump on there and hope that you're lucky enough to get into the random queue early enough that you'll actually get tickets for it and yada, yada, yada. So, we were able to make that happen. We also managed to get a hotel because there was a whole separate thing for just getting a hotel that you have to, similar situation that you have to try to, submit your thing in time in order to get that. So we got that taken care of, sometime over the past couple of months.
Submitting my thing is not acceptable behavior.
Silence, Dr. Z. He's talking about another thing.
Oh, okay.
Something else.
So earlier today, the tickets went on sale for Star Wars Celebration 2025, which is taking place in Tokyo. And my girlfriend Kalani really, really, really wants to go. So luckily I had today off work, so I was able to be in front of my computer at 4 p.m. so that, and she was on the phone at her computer, and we both got in the queue, and I got in earlier than she did with the random picking of people. So after waiting about 45 minutes, we finally were able to buy tickets for it. So now we've bought 2 3-day passes for Star Wars Celebration in Tokyo. So I guess I'm going to Tokyo.
Nice. Wildcard in the chat says, Luke, don't use up all your luck for the year.
Well, I think it's shocking that I have any luck at all, considering that haven't had an animation job at a studio since 2018. So
Talk to us afterwards, Luke. We've got a luck gun,
Oh, good.
I think very well correctly.
And so that's a thing. The thought crossed my mind. Well, 2 thoughts crossed my mind. One, now that I know I have a ticket, maybe I could contact ReedPop and pitch to them the idea of me doing some kind of performance there of all my Star Wars stuff, because, that's a thing I could do. and in fact have done at past Star Wars celebrations. Not when they were running it, but back in whatever it was, 2002. But the other thing I thought was, what if I made my own fan video for the Logan Whitehurst song, That's What It's Like in Japan, while I was in Japan? That would be fun.
That would be cool.
So anyway, what have you been up to, Devo Spice?
I went to RavenCon last weekend, which was in Virginia. Lots of fun, as always. And this year they moved the live performances to the restaurant, which was great because it's like the main area in the main building, so there was a lot more foot traffic and stuff, and I had probably my biggest turnout ever at RavenCon at my concerts, so that was really good. It was a little weird, though, because when I first started my show, there were people in the restaurant just, like, eating and reading, and I was like, you're not going to be able to do that for much longer because there's about to be music. So I apologize to them. To their credit, they stuck around and watched the entire show. So either they were there to see me and were just reading until I started, or I won them over. So either way, it was fun. Also, remember a couple of weeks ago, you mentioned you got Snarl, and my wife saw it on Facebook and demanded that we find her one. Well, Alvarant reached out to me and said that he saw one at his local Target and offered to buy it for me and ship it to me. So that arrived the other day. So my wife now has Snarl up on her end table. I was going to bring it and show it, but I forgot to grab it. So big shout out to Alvarant. Thank you so much for doing that.
I'll go grab mine.
Because I couldn't find it. So Luke is getting Snarl. Snarl is a Dinobot, the Stegosaurus variety.
Yes. Here is Snarl right here. And it's interesting because it's not just a matter of them trying to recreate, the old Transformers. It's them trying to specifically recreate the way they looked in the animated movie, which, it's kind of like they're trying to copy the designs of the animators' drawings rather than the way the thing actually looked. So it's just interesting to see the different choices they made. And they're trying to replicate it both in their vehicle form and in their robot form so that they still look, relatively screen accurate. So they've taken some interesting liberties with the way they transform to pull this off, but it's kind of amazing what they've done with them all.
How did you get that reduced in size? That's about 5 meters long, is it not? How did you compress it down to fit in your hand like that?
Well, you just need a compressor.
I don't think he has a compressor.
I have PIM particles, so
Isn't that too heavy to lift after you've compressed it? How are you doing that?
I'm very strong. I did a lot of manual labor as a kid in Wisconsin, so
The PIM particles are actually quite magical because sometimes it retains its mass when it's really small, and sometimes it doesn't. Like the tank keychain that he had that in his pocket for the whole movie.
Yes, I do not like this complete disassociation with the laws of physics.
Yeah, I don't either. It's one of those things I just I gotta turn off my brain and look, it's a movie. It's fun. Yeah.
A switch to turn off your brain. Dr. Z patent that.
Okay.
So, Cog, what have you guys been up to?
Well, let's see. We've been capturing bands. I just got to kill one last Sunday. That was fun.
Oh, yes, blood everywhere.
Yes. They were named in such a way that we used a metronome as a pendulum, as in the Pit and the Pendulum, one of my favorites. And, of course, we attached a razor-sharp blade and sliced the band in half. It was lovely.
Just like a metronome.
Yes.
That sounds wonderful. What was the name of the band?
Oh, it was Metronome the City.
Ah, okay.
Cool. It's a strange name. Very strange band.
Yeah, there's a lot of strange band names out there.
Well, in 10 years anyway.
And we've also been writing music. We've got another song coming a little bit later this year that you will definitely want to hold on for.
Oh, yes.
Excellent. Looking forward to that.
First, we've got the pleasure of introducing the world to UltraGator.
Yes, give us a quick intro to this song, and we will give it a listen.
What's his name? Silence. All right, what did you say?
Give us a quick intro to this song, and we'll give it a listen, and then we'll talk to you about it.
Okay, so you guys know about all the big creatures that fight each other?
Yes, kaiju monsters.
Yes, those guys. This is about those guys, except for the one from here.
What they do when they're not on film. You know, we never see them doing any of this stuff on film. So we decided that there should be a film. You know, what is it? Rule
NC-17?
No, not Rule NC-17. Oh, never mind. There's a rule that I suppose that any pop culture icon should therefore somehow ordinarily, well, get some sort of, I don't know, how would one put this across in a dignified manner?
I've got no idea what the hell you're talking about, Dr. Pinkerton.
Well, just listen to the song and find out. Anyway, we've got
Okay.
a creature from the Bayou meeting a creature from Canada.
Here is The Amazing Adventures of UltraGator, the Bayou Kaiju in 3D by the Consortium of Genius.
Emerging from the swamp, he shakes his mighty tail. His scales are gleaming in the dark, his teeth are sharp and pale. He knows no fear at all as he creeps onto land. Standing up treetop tall, extending clawful, outstretched hand.
Alright, this sounds like a great movie, but what the hell is his name?
What's his name? Is it Mecha-Gator?
No, he's Russian born.
Is it Master-Gator?
Only when alone.
Is it Killer-Gator?
That won't do.
No, he's UltraGator. The Bayou Kaiju.
For hundreds of years, it was thought to be a myth. But now, the myth has come to horrible life.
UltraGator, legend of the South. UltraGator, sharp fangs in his mouth. UltraGator, screams a piercing call. UltraGator, he could destroy us No man or beast alive meets UltraGator's mind. No living creature would be dumb enough to try and fight. By booming in the night, a figure starts to rise. Red claws and tiny jaws and sassy, glassy, black and beady eyes.
Whoa, dude, what's she called?
What she called? Is it Superzilla?
That sounds lame.
Is it Megazilla?
Someone took my name.
Is it Killerzilla?
Run and hide.
She's Laptozilla. She's Canada's pride.
It was foretold that these two horrible creatures were destined to lock claws in the ultimate monster struggle.
Lobsterzilla, lurching back and forth. Lobsterzilla, legend of the North. Lobsterzilla, getting mighty steamed. Lobsterzilla fills the air with desperate They were equally matched, but they became attached once they started fooling around. But after just one round, they began to get down. It was time to remove the gloves. It was Kaiju love. It was Kaiju love.
What are they doing?
Oh no, cover your eyes, Timmy.
Do I really have to?
All right, what the heck? Well, you've got to learn about this stuff sooner or later.
Come over here, you big crustacean monstrosity.
So, you're looking pretty hot yourself, eh?
They got easily breezy and started to fall. They get slipping and sliding as they sink into the mud. He came up from the swamp. She came down from above. It was Kaiju love. He came up from the swamp. She came down from above. It was Kaiju love. He came up from the swamp. She came plenty of times from above. It was Kaiju love.
Coming next summer, Son of UltraGator in 3D.
Very nice.
Yes, you see, Dr. Z, when two giant monsters love each other very much, they... Oh, hello!
Hello. So it was, in fact, Rule 34 you were trying to
Well, of course.
invoke.
Yes, mathematically airtight.
Indeed. And I love that you used FuMP as a placeholder word, shall we say, in that song.
Has anyone else ever done that? No, I dare say.
I know somebody has used the phrase mother fumpers, but that might have just been on stage somewhere.
I did that when I did the cover of MC Chris's White Kids Love Hip Hop, because he uses the MF word once or twice at least in that song. So when I did it live, I said mother thumper just because it's on Sunday afternoon and I didn't want to get us in trouble.
Yes, well, thanks to us, FuMP is now a verb as well.
Excellent. I approve.
Put that in your Urban Dictionary and smoke it.
Okay. So, what inspired this song?
Well, observation of the natural world, to be quite honest. Also, the fact that, HyperGator and MegaGator and all the other gators were taken. So we had to go with UltraGator.
Okay.
Yes. Cajun Kaiju.
Excellent. So,
actually, part of this also came from the fact that this current version of Escape from the Secret Lab is taking place at the bottom of the Mississippi River. And when I ran a poll asking what they would like to see from the bottom of the Mississippi River, Bayou Kaiju was one of the highest things on the list.
I can see that.
We were obliged to write a song about it.
The word has been getting out about the Bayou Kaiju, so we had to go in search of him.
Yeah, and we found him. Boy, howdy.
So UltraGator and Lobsterzilla.
Yes.
Bumpin' Uglies. What does that do to the environment? Because, I mean,
I don't know.
huge...
I wanted to know if that actually qualified as squick or whether that was in the mind of the listener.
Yeah, I think that's in the mind of the listener.
Yeah. Disgusting, dirty bunch, those listeners.
Yes.
Yeah, especially our audience, And
you don't want to even know about the discharge.
No, I dare say Dr. Demento will be very hesitant to play this song.
Possibly. We'll see.
Play it, Barrett, please.
Did you make a video for it? Because we can post the video in the Facebook group.
Not as of yet.
Yes, wrangling giant monsters like that is very difficult. Very difficult.
That's true.
We've almost blown our entire budget just on the mask for UltraGator.
Right, but we do have some cryptozoologists that are out in the field, even as we speak, trying to get some footage of these creatures in their natural habitats.
To be perfectly honest, it's a really bad monster movie. As depicted in the song, this is an Ed Wood level production, or somewhere between Ed Wood and Roger Corman.
Okay. Some of my favorite films. I love that type of film.
Roger Corman.
So yeah, so it's basically a guy in a big rubber suit in Cardboard City that he's destroying.
Exactly, but with a little bit of the latter end of Ed Wood's career thrown in for bad measure.
Okay, of course. Yeah, you have to you give it a touch of class, doing that.
Yes. We might have to have some sort of psychic predict what's going to happen in the rest of the song. That's some goals for the sequel song. Son of
Son of UltraGator, yes.
Yes.
Will that be a sequel song or a sequel movie?
It's Return of the Son of UltraGator.
Both. But we also would like to give a shout out to our friends Sally the Zombie Cheerleader, of course, Dr. Sarcophagi, El Sapo de Tempestro, and of course, narrator over in Austin, and yes, Professor Griffin.
And speaking with some of these were at the RavenCon with you, weren't they?
Possibly, yes.
Okay, you didn't. I guess it's a big con, right?
It is a big con, yeah. I didn't run into too many people who I knew.
As far as I know, Sally was there and Dr. Sarcophagi, but the other two were not.
Yes, Dr. Sarcophagi. I remember seeing his name in the program book, but I don't remember seeing him, so I don't think our paths crossed.
Oh.
But yes, I know he was there.
This is our first collaboration, probably not the last.
Excellent, good. Wildcard in the chat wants to know when he can get UltraGator as a playable character in Rampage.
Ooh. Well, yikes.
As far as I know, Rampage tends to sue people. Anybody that uses their likenesses and stuff. They sued that board game.
Yeah, we obviously are not using Lizzie from Rampage.
Right,
this
of course
is
not. No.
No, it's Lobsterzilla. We're
Yes.
very specific about that.
Hopefully, you won't need to get an imaginary lawyer to work all that out with the
imaginary.
And of course, UltraGator is UltraGator. He's not Ralph. So, you're good. I think you're in the clear. Although you could make your own clone game of, because it doesn't have to be the exact same gameplay, but you have UltraGator and you have Lobsterzilla.
We have no interest There's no interest in clones here in the lab. All of our experiments with clones have resulted in utter disaster.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so...
What are you gesticulating at, Dr. Z?
Oh, nothing at all.
Do you guys have anything you'd like to plug?
Well...
The hole in the dike?
There's this large outlet in the lab that I don't know what voltage it's supposed to be. Oh, wait, you mean upcoming things?
Yes.
Well, of course. We've got Escape from the Secret Lab coming up on, I believe, May 12th is the next episode. You want to go to escapefromthesecretlab.com to watch all of those. We're up to episode 109, I think.
I believe so, yes.
I think, yeah. We're going to keep torturing bands until we're all dead or until all the bands are dead. Preferably the latter.
Or we run out of clones of Pinkerton. Never mind.
What are you talking about?
Nothing at all.
Completely unsubstantiated. Talk about imaginary.
All right. Yeah. So we're going to move on to news and my song. Are you guys going to stick around for the rest of the show, or are you going to take off?
Whatever you'd like.
We'll stick around a couple more minutes.
Okay. All right.
Excellent.
Let's do some news.
This is the FuMP.
I know I'm a dork, and I wanna sing something dumb all day. Yes, I do. Ow, I love parodies. I just wanna sing something dumb all day.
I'll wrap around your jumbo shrimp and get your heart a-racing, and always leave you satisfied if I can be your bacon.
But some things you can't have your way. Could you just let her watch her boyfriend play? You can't stand Swifties.
That's the Funny Music Project at thefump.com. THEFUMP.com.
For thee, my brains, get me off this train. This really is a pain. Should've took a plane. Get me off this train.
Can I borrow your van on Saturday?
Time for funny music news. Something.
In the news, UHF is getting a re-release in 4K. This is coming out on July 2nd from Shout Factory. as they say on their site. Order from our site and get the new 4K UHD release of UHF, an exclusive 18 by 24 rolled poster of the original theatrical artwork, a second exclusive 18 by 24 rolled poster featuring a new design, 2 slipcovers, a retro prism sticker, a smell-o-vision sticker set, a collectible fridge magnet, a remote control stress relief collectible, and an enamel pin set. They have a shortened URL set up for it. It's bit.ly/Weird Al Collection. That's bit.ly/Weird Al Collection. So go check that out. It's available for pre-order now. Comes out July 2nd. My new album Cover Up will be released tomorrow. Although, I mean, it's up everywhere now already. You can buy it. It includes almost all the covers I've released over the years for various projects, including 3 new songs. It's the chiptunes version of It's All About the Pentiums, Tortuga by Ailstorm featuring Captain Dan, and the updated version of What's Up Spock, which we're about to play a little bit later in the show. Tomorrow, Friday, May 3rd, is Bandcamp Friday, so the artists get to keep all of the money. So you can go to devospice.bandcamp.com and pick up your copy of Cover Up. Either as a digital download or on a shiny round thing for those people who still like CDs. There are now Filk mini grants. Rand Bellavia of Ookla the Mock wrote to us and said, a year or so ago, I was on a panel at Balticon about how to grow the circle, discussing surrounding the Filkers are aging out and not being replaced. I brought up the financial privilege of fandom and the possibility that the number of young Filkers who were attending online circles might not be new fans, but rather fans that simply cannot afford the cost of cons. This seemed like a radical concept to all the panel, so now I'm on the Interfilk subcommittee that has created Filk mini grants that people can request to help assuage those costs. So for more information on the Filk mini grants program, go to interfilk.org and click on the mini grants link at the top. All right. The FuMPFest 2023 compilation is now available over at FuMPFest.com and the FuMP.com. That's the fundraiser album for FuMPFest. And the FuMP Presents Our Funniest Songs of 2023 is also now available at the FuMP.com. And the FuMP newsletter went out the other day. If you're not on our mailing list, you can read it online at tiny.cc/FuMP0424, which includes pretty much everything I just talked about except the Filk mini grants. All right. Anything before tour dates?
Not that I can think of.
All right, tour dates. On Sundays in Nashville, Tennessee, Steve Goody hosting at the Bluebird. Sundays online, 2 Sleeps. Mondays online, Steve Goody and Brad Tassel at virtualcomedyshow.com. Mondays and Wednesdays online, Bill Larkin. On the 3rd in Clovis, California, Phil Johnson and Roadside Attraction. On the 3rd in Morristown, New Jersey, Carla Ulbrich. On the 5th online, Carla Ulbrich. On the 7th in Fairfax, California, Phil Johnson and Roadside Attraction. On the 8th in Nashville, Tennessee, Steve Goody. On the 10th online, Carla Ulbrich. The 10th and 11th in Oakland, California, Phil Johnson and Roadside Attraction. And on the 12th on YouTube, Escape from the Secret Lab, featuring the Consortium of Genius. Do you guys know who...
Also known as the Cog!
The Cog! Do you guys know what band you're going to be tormenting that day?
Yes, it's somebody called Stu Odom, and I think we're going to actually have to stew him. Yes,
all right.
he shall be stewed.
Looking forward to that.
Group, or is it just Stu Odom?
It's the Odom Poles.
The Odom Poles?
Yes. Yes, it sounds rather odoriferous. It sounds smelly. But you shall be protected from the stink.
Excellent.
Via the internet. Air-gapped, as it were.
All right. Birthdays. Now, normally when we do birthdays, we only go a week ahead because next week we would do the following week. But since he's on the cast right now, we might as well jump ahead a bit. May 11th, Dr. Milo T. Pinkerton III. Happy birthday to our future overlord. All right.
I shall be celebrating my eternal youth.
Yes.
You can send donations to the lab. And help us kill the next band on Escape, please.
Yes.
I can think of no better present.
We will do our best. Wildcard in the chat says, FYI, Bill Larkin will be changing from Wednesday to Tuesday starting in 2 weeks. So we will update that going forward. All right, second song this week is the 9-minute update that I put together for Luke Ski's song, What's Up, Spock? This is the new 2024 version from my new album, Cover Up, with a whole bunch of new verses.
And for the record, I have notes.
Okay.
Is this like Bugs Bunny's version of What's Up, Spock?
Answer me one question.
Is the Federation in the house? Oh, yeah! Can we rock? What's up, Spock? Can we rock? What's up, Quark? Can we rock? What's up, Phlox? Can we rock? What's up, Spock?
Captain's log. It's time to be beginning this 5-year mission. I am Captain James T. Kirk. Spock is a Vulcan, so his actions are illogical and swift. And damn it, Bones is a doctor, not a forklift. Check this out, y'all. Sulu Warp Factor 2. Check up Benahura, I'm a senior bridge crew. Don't play me like a punk, like a Tribble or a Klingon. Scotty's on the ship so that he can help me beam on. I'm telling all the Romulans and aliens to listen to these soliloquies. What? Now I'm making lots of movies. Search for Spock on the floor, he's stepping. But I can't dance like a Genesis weapon. Back to the TV show, I don't know the reason why a 5-year mission only lasted 3 seasons.
Oh no!
For goodness sakes, the rating's high, I'm off.
You off?
NBC ya, bye.
Can we rock? What's up, Spock? Can we rock? What's up, Spock? Can we rock? What's up, Spock? Can we rock? What's up, Spock?
I got the show back on the air.
You what?
I did, except this is a newer version for next generation kids. I'm on the Starship ENTERPRISE with the number NCC 1701D. It's 100 years later, it's a 1,000-man crew. It's a good thing for me and my staff knows what to do. Engage. Wesley Crusher is not older, but he's wiser. Down in engineering, Jordy is my technical advisor. I go see Deanna, she's a shrink and a psycho. When it comes to Troy, all the boys, they will like her. Especially my number one, Commander Riker, got a beard like a stud and a bod like Formica. Dr. Crusher is a humanitarian and Klingon Warp says, I am not a merry man.
So who is the captain in your neighborhood?
I guess that would be me, can't you see I'm chilling in the center seat? Cause
I am Jean-Luc Picard.
And if you think that I'm Locutus, then you're one of the Borg. Cause I drink my Earl Grey and it's lemon
Meringue.
I'm making more profits than any
Ferengi.
Chilling on the holodeck, I'm calm and I'm serene. And word to Tasha Yar, I'm heading for the big screen. Because I'm Deep Space Nining, chilling with Guinan, making lots of whoopee while my bald head is shining. And I got the world's best Android calculator named
Data.
His body's bionic, his brain's positronic. Compared to Mr. Data, Albert Einstein's moronic. I'm the big bad baldy of the whole Federation, and I'll rock you from here to Farpoint Station.
Can we rock? What's up, Riker? Can we rock?
Hey, George,
what's up, Riker? Can we rock? What's up, Riker? Can we rock? What's up, Riker?
Oh, rip in the wormhole. Oh no. Relax and you'll be fine here on Deep Space Nine. Now Bajor is nearer with Colonel Kira, ordering more than the average Bajoran. Quark is too quick, he's slick like Crisco. Fortunately, I am Captain Cisco. I got a shapeshifter named Odo at my side to kick Quark's butt all over the promenade. Chief Miles O'Brien, his expertise flies the ship Defiant. An adventure, Doc Bashir will be in it with an old man Dax. You know she's a Trillamania. I got my son Jake, he's hanging with Nog, a shrimpy little troll like Kermit the Frog. I got more class than Cardassians, and I cannot be the one to go out like Gul Dukat. Been holla 9/11 since Wolf 359 is so scary. Roddenberry, we're Dakayo Paka. Can I rock?
What's up, Quark? Can we rock? What's up, Quark? Can we rock? What's up, Quark? Can we rock? What's up, Quark?
Holodoc's attitude could be nicer, but still I gotta say to him, hail Lord Schweitzer. So boy, you're just fine with that Borg big of mine, known as 7 of 9 assimilations divine.
Neelix!
Cooking up the soup du jour for security Vulcan, Tuvok Shakur. Chakotay helps me to adapt, and Ensign Harry Kim is always getting kidnapped. The pilot Tom Paris is an egotister, went out with both of the Delaney sisters, and I'm sure he'll wanna get with B'Elanna, Torres, Klingana, trying to reach Nirvana. Searching and scanning and cavorting, if we wanna get somewhere, then we better start warping. Captain Jamie's in command, all up in this jam. Stay tuned, up next is Platypus Man.
Can we rock? What's up, Doctor? Can we rock? What's up, Doctor? Can we rock? What's up, Doctor? Can we rock? What's up, Doctor?
John Archer, the captain, about who I'm rapping. Well, it just so happens to be me. I'm battling all those Suliban freaks who were feeding cheese to Porthos. Lieutenant Malcolm Reed rules the armory, keeping harm from me and the rest of the guys. Trips construction he'll devise with function and surprise on the
Funky Enterprise.
Travis busting through the skies. Mayweather will forever helm wherever he flies.
Woo!
I see Dr. Phlox, Agent Oberlin medic who blocks all the pox with the fox in the box. So she's chilling, deciphering all the prank calls from all the Klingons. All your base are belong to us, but she's not hot as T'Pol is. Vulcan flawless, logic and a bod like Lucy Lawless. Fearless, be back soon to save you again, just as long as you remember
That it's on UPN. Can we rock? What's up, Phlox? Can we rock? What's up, Flocks? Can we rock? What's up, Flocks? Can we rock? What's up, Flocks?
There's a new streaming service.
There is?
Yep, so we need another series to help get our numbers up. We can bring back Spock, but what the fans are really like will be a show to boldly go about a woman named Michael. 10 years before Kirk to keep it chronological. Oh, and she's Spock's adopted sister.
That's illogical.
Saru is a Kelpian, and man is he smart, but he walks like he's constantly fanning a fart.
Discovery
flies with a spore drive, something fungus in space, tardigrade something.
Warp 5.
All the sphere's data wasn't meant for me, so now it's off to the 32nd century. To keep it safe from control was the whole darn idea, but they suffer from the burn like
Space gonorrhea.
All of that together may seem kinda weird, but it's nothing when compared to
Spock with a beard. Can we rock? What's up, Spock? Can we rock? What's up, Spock? Can we rock? What's up, Spock? Can we rock? What's up, Spock?
I got the show back on the air.
You what?
I did, except this is a newer version for next generation kids. I'm an admiral, I'm retired, everything is fine. Only problem is that no one seems to like my wine. I'm 100 years old, the thought of work makes me wince, but I'm fighting for the rights of Romulans and synths. Wesley Crusher is a traveler with many goals and data is gone, but Brent Spiner still has 20 roles. Will and Deanna have a home on Nepenthe, but without Thaddeus it feels kinda empty. Dr. Crusher had a child that she hid from me, so you don't know Jack is a game that has an infamy. George has been restoring the old Enterprise D. A bunch of folks are looking for my former body.
What?
7 of 9 still has a thing in her eye, and Worf wants to know,
Is he ever gonna die? Can we rock? What's up, Riker? Can we rock? What's up, Riker? Can we rock? What's up, Riker? Can we rock? What's up, Riker?
Now it's time to take a trip aboard a ship that others hated and explore the lower decks where we're all animated. One of Starfleet's least important vessels of Cerritos, where we use a lot of buffer time and replicate burritos. And Second Mariner's career is on track. If you give her a promotion, she will give it right back. Boimler's eager to please and be a cog, but he's a little odd, even keeps his own logs. And his roommate,
Rutherford,
a cyborg engineer, can't wait to calibrate another boring piece of gear. And the Orion girl, not a slave, not a pirate, then she's the mistress of the winter constellation. Shavana Tendry, Freeman and Ransom handle second contract. Shaxx the security, Dr. Anna is a cat. Badgie might threaten you with some sharp knives, but the Moopsie is free, better run for your lives.
Can we rock? What's up, Jack? Can we rock? What's up, Jack? Can we rock? What's up, Jack? Can we rock? What's up, Jack?
Let's make a happy little show about bravery. We can start with orphans who were sold into slavery, working in the mines.
For the Diviner.
Yes, we know you are. Ain't no escape until they stumble on the
Protostar.
Dal kidnaps Gwen, he's just a little headstrong.
Yep.
Rock, Jenk, and Pog, Murph, and Zero come along. Hologram Janeway will show them all how, and at least she can't turn into a salamander now.
But it ain't that simple.
There's a weapon on the ship that will destroy Starfleet without so much as a blip.
Jenk and Pog
doesn't know how Jenk and Pog could defeat it, but Murph is indestructible, so
he could just eat it.
Gwen joins the crew.
What's her father gonna do?
After seeing Zero's face, his brain became beef stew. Dal and real Janeway are anxious to meet so they can save the Von Nukat
Without destroying Starfleet, can we rock? What's up, Rock? Can we rock? What's up, Rock? Can we rock? What's up, Rock? Can we rock? What's up, Rock?
Captain's log. It's time to be beginning this 5-year mission. I am Captain Christopher Pike. Spock is a Vulcan, so his actions are logical, except when T'Pring makes him feel biological. Check it out, y'all, or take his Give Me Warp 2. Number 1 has a big secret, but she's my crew. Don't play me for a punk like a Gorn or a Klingon. Hammer's on the ship so that he can help me beam on. I'm telling all the space pirates and aliens to listen to these soliloquies.
What?
Now I'm singing slightly off key. Search for Spock's Vulcan, half-made in babble. But what's going on between him and Nurse Chapel? Uhura's got a bright future, or so it seems. Lieutenant Kirk comes aboard and there goes the away team. And Benga's daughter might die. I'm off
For now.
Paramount ya.
Bye, can we rock? What's up, Spock? Can we rock? What's up, Spock? Can we rock? What's up, Spock? Can we rock? What's up, Spock?
I'm the ruler, the master, the universe blaster. I'll take the Enterprise to the edge of disaster. In other words, you better start begging, you humans, because I'm Q from the Q Continuum. Forget Jean and Kathy, I'm the man. When it comes to power, I just wave my hand. I'll turn Jean-Luc Picard into a doggy. Then he will be barking into Captain's loggy. Forget those other guys, they're not important. Kathy, Jim, is Jean, and Benji. Q is omnipotent. Damn, I gotta scram because you win, mon capitaine, but I will not promise never to appear again.
What's up, Q? Can we rock? What's up, Quark? Can we rock? What's up, Riker? Can we rock? What's up, Spock?
Oh yeah, Star Trek, Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, Enterprise, Discovery, Picard, Lower Decks, Prodigy, Strange New Worlds, and Q Continuum style. Live long and prosper. We outta here. See ya!
Still no love for the original animated series.
So, Luke, you know how you have this running thing that you're always afraid somebody's going to be mad at you for no reason?
Yeah.
I was, like, terrified that you were going to be mad at me for doing this, like, up until the moment you heard it. And I'm like, should I surprise him? Should I let him know what I'm doing? Should I,
Never reveal to your enemies what you are doing. Never.
Well, that's what I finally went with. I was
and
like,
now you're
no, I
removed
want
all
to
doubt.
surprise
He does
him.
hate your guts.
Exactly.
Yeah. I do really wish I could have done this like live at MarsCon during the SmackDown. Like that was what I originally envisioned. But I haven't been to MarsCon in 4 years thanks to my damn kid. But, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of would have liked a head up, but in the grand scheme of things, it was all fine because just because I said I wasn't going to update this song doesn't mean I don't intend to do more Star Trek themed songs in the future.
Yeah,
that's always it's Star Trek has never left the pantheon of things like, oh, this is a thing I like. I could do a song about this if I get a good enough idea. So I was a little worried that with your version, it would kind of, negate my need to do any other Star Trek songs, sort of, or at least that was my initial fear in realizing, like reading your description. It's like, oh shit, Devo's done the whole thing. But then after listening to it, I'm like, well, nah, I don't have to worry about that.
No, it's a quick overview of each series. I mean, you can certainly do better songs about each individual show.
So, I figured, me doing or you doing this song gives me an opportunity to not only, compliment you on various things I really liked about it, but also to actually talk about the original song and point out some things about it that maybe people didn't know because, What's Up Spock has never been a song I posted on the FuMP. So, as we were getting ready, I've been kind of jotting down some ideas for notes. So
I can tell you one thing I learned about the original song. When I read your lyrics, the Next Generation verse, down in engineering, Geordi is my technical advisor. You spelled advisor, AD-visor. And I was like, oh, like I never picked up on that.
When I used to, I guess I maybe I still do this when I perform it if the mic is on a mic stand or if I could just do it with one hand. I used to, Geordi, I would say, I need you to be looking at me when I do it.
Yep.
I would say, Geordi is my technical advisor, and I would go like this with my hands during that line so people would pick up on the pun. So it's like, I'm thoroughly, I'm thoroughly fine with the esteemed members of the COG sticking around for this, but I don't want to bore them with my lecture on the minutia of Star Trek.
This may take a while, guys.
To be quite honest, I'm actually kind of wondering. Luke's looking like he's hiding something. He's probably working on a Save Lower Decks anthem right now.
Lower Decks.
Sorry to have blown your cover there, Luke.
Well, that's the thing is. Luke needs to do a song about Lower Decks. Has been on my list since about their second season, if not earlier. So I have been wanting to do a song about Lower Decks for a very long time, and every time I try to get, it's like most years, like at MarsCon, it's like, okay, I want to prepare a new song at MarsCon. I'm going to work on this thing, but there's a big difference between me spending 2 hours coming up with lyrics for a song like Chicken, which Kyle specifically said to me, do not put thought and effort into this. Write this song as quickly and stupidly as possible, versus me doing a song that's like, one of Luke's, I'm going to try to encapsulate the entirety of a series within this song type of songs. So, it's like I've been wanting to do it, and I really want to pay it justice. I mean, it was kind of like, I got to get this done soon, and then the third season came out. I'm like, all right, I wait till after the third season's over. It's like, all right, I really got to get this done before the fourth season comes out, and then it was too late for fourth season, and then I wanted to get done for my birthday for the big 50th birthday concert, and that didn't happen. I wanted to get done for MarsCon this year, and then it didn't happen. And I've been doing work on it. I actually have hired a musician to make some music for me, and it sounds great. In fact, the thing that psychs me up the most to get working on the song is just listening to the music that he made. And so it's like my love for Lower Decks is huge and passionate even before the news came along that the 5th season's going to be the final season. If you know,
it strikes me that time is ticking away.
Yeah.
You could be the Bejo Trimble of Lower Decks.
The Bejo Trimble of Lower Decks. Ooh, that would be a nice feather in my cap. So I didn't obviously the intention wasn't to be like, I'm making this song to help save Lower Decks. It's like, I'm making this song because Lower Decks is awesome and I want to, you know, celebrate it. So it's like all the notes have been taken, you know, the music is already, you know, the main bones of it, no Star Trek pun intended, have been figured out. So that's a double Star Trek pun because of Moopsy eats the bones, and then there's Dr. McCoy that's the bones. Yay! I very much want to get this song done, and I just have so much other stuff going on in my life, and I literally just need to, you know, do the thing I do occasionally, which is pull the curtains back on my big window and get out my little Post-it notes and just start writing up, like, what are all the things that I have to get done that are, you know, the most important, so I can get those out of the way so that I can, you know, get to work on the Lower Deck song, because at the very least I should have it out before Comic-Con in July, you know, and at the absolute latest I should have it out by what would that be? Is it the 6th? Yeah, isn't it September 6th is the anniversary date for Star Trek? I'm pretty sure.
I don't know.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. So it'll be like the 58th anniversary. Not that number matters at all, but because I put all of my Star Trek songs up on Spotify, like all the previous ones, via that. I know you sent me the email about the thing. I gotta send you that number.
Mm-hmm.
But like when I did the whole Psychopotpourri and other stuff collection that I put up on Spotify, one of the main reasons I did that was to get all those old Star Trek tracks up, including the rare ones, so that I could have on Spotify a playlist representing all of my Star Trek songs, so that I could add the Lower Decks one to it and then have it be like kind of a big announcement, like, you know, like basically how May the Farce Be With You is up there on my Bandcamp page as a Star Wars album. I want to have the Star Trek album up there. I did one previously way back a long time ago called Trek What You Like, but I don't want to use that name anymore because nobody's going to understand what it means. So I have an alternate title for it, and I need to make some artwork for it. But yeah, I am psyched for all of that Star Trekness.
Okay.
But very astute, Dr. Pinkerton. You are the genius who can deduce the things with your powerful brain.
That's what he does. That's why he's here.
That's exactly what I'm about. And of course, very soon, very, very soon, I shall be in a position where none shall have any choice but to bow to me. And
me.
Excellent.
So, Trevor Cochran of the Thumbnuts did the music for this song for me.
Is that from Cochran?
Different Cochran. Might be related for all we know. I don't know. He also did the music for Tortuga, the Ailstorm cover on the album. It's amazing. So if you want your own version of this song, you can just record the main vocals and send them to him, and he will give you a new mix with your voice in place of mine. So there you got 9 minutes of your album taken care of.
Because there was a thing. I mean, I kind of got to the point where I decided, the hell with it, and you know, I've done remakes of old songs of mine here and there, and for the longest time, I wanted to do remakes of What's Up Spock, and have somebody make a backing track for me, but I couldn't find anyone who was willing to tackle that specific song. So the fact that you found somebody is like, well, what the hell, man? You know, it's like. So I don't know. I may take him up on that if I feel I have a need to at some point.
Yeah.
So
if you have 9 minutes left on your album that you need to fill, you know, now you can.
And I also should point out that there is another Star Trek show in the works called Starfleet Academy coming out in 2025 or 2026.
I was seriously considering like waiting, but is it 25? I thought it was this year it was coming out.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought it was. I looked at a list on Wikipedia and it said 2025-2026. So I don't know. Maybe they just haven't updated it yet.
Those Wikipedias can't be trusted.
You're right. 2025. Okay. I'm glad I didn't hold off for that. So, okay, good. So the 2024 version, I was afraid like calling it the 2024 version and then having Starfleet Academy come out, it would, screw with people up. And why isn't there a Starfleet Academy verse?
Yeah. So, so
you
just
always
to
guess, you know that.
Yes, I
You
could.
can always use your time door to go back and redo it once.
Yeah,
you've
so I assume
seen
everybody's got one of those.
Once you've seen this Fleet Academy thing. you
Oh,
can go back
wait. They don't have a luck gun or a time door, do they?
Why not? What's the matter with that?
we have a luck door and a time gun. Does that help?
I don't know if it helps or not. Does it help you?
You have a time gun? Really? I want to see it.
The bullets move way too slow.
I want to see it now. Dr. Z, go raid his apartment.
I don't want to raid his apartment. It looks like he's just got artwork in there. I don't need any of that.
Don't trust him. I do not trust him.
So yeah, just for those who don't know, the original version of this song is a one-hit wonder from the 90s, a hip hop song called "What's Up, Doc? Can We Rock?" Or is it actually? I think it's. I keep forgetting which way the actual version goes. Let's see. FuMPCast, SCH.
It's "What's Up, Doc?" and then in parentheses, "Can We Rock?"
Yeah. Okay.
And it's credited to Shaquille O'Neal featuring the FuMPCast.
Yeah, that was the other thing I was going to mention is so yeah, it's
it really is a FuMPCast song featuring Shaquille O'Neal, but it's credited to Shaq because he was the more popular of the two.
Yeah, so yeah, it says looking at Wikipedia here, it says "What's up, Doc?" parentheses "Can we rock?" parentheses, which is weird because the chorus starts with "Can we rock? What's up, Doc?" So whatever. That's why I'm confused. So that original version of the song. The original members were Chip Fu, Mach Fu, and Pak Fu, and they did this song where there's they each have a verse. And then at the very end of the song, Shaquille O'Neal shows up as Shaq Fu, and he does the last verse, and in the music video, of course, they're all like hanging around a basketball court and playing basketball, and it's a very up tempo song, and it has an amazing hook, and I really loved it, and I knew that back in the very early days of me starting to write parodies, I knew that I wanted to do a parody of that song. Funny bit of trivia. It was almost a song about the Animaniacs called "What's Up, Dot?"
Oh, interesting. Okay.
The Warner Brothers and the Warner sister.
Yeah, and but then I came up with "Insane in the Brain" and around the same time, and I just kind of figured, well, what? At that point in my life, I had I was. I'd been going to college. I started watching Star Trek: The Next Generation because I never really watched the original Trek too much, just here and there. But then syndicated reruns of Next Generation were on every night while I was at school, and I totally dug that. And then Deep Space Nine started, so that was the first Star Trek show where I was there for the beginning, and I really kind of connected to that show for whatever reason. So then I got this idea to do a parody of "What's Up, Doc? Can We Rock?" About the Star Trek shows, and I'm like, okay, first verse is about Kirk's Enterprise. Second verse is about Picard's Enterprise. Third verse is about DS9, and then for the fourth verse, I'll do a verse about Q because he was my favorite character, and had showed up on both. Next Generation and Voyager at that point. So that was the original version, and I debuted it at Gen Con in 1994, in August of 94. And the costume, I basically entered their costume contest, just as an excuse to get up on stage and do this song. And I have the video of this up on YouTube, my YouTube page. And what I did was I had 4 different shirts on. So it starts off and I'm wearing what appears to be the classic Trek type shirt, I think I went with blue because that was Spock. Eventually I later changed it to the gold one so it would be proper like Captain Kirk. But originally it was blue because Spock. So anyway, I did the verse, and then I got to the end of the Kirk verse, and then I whipped off the shirt to reveal the Picard looking outfit. And then did that verse, and then I whipped off that shirt to reveal the Cisco-looking outfit. And the funny thing about that was it was just 2 T-shirts, and I literally just cut the shoulders off, and then swapped the two of them because of that's what it was. That's what they did on the show. So, and then for the last thing, because I was trying to make the connection between Shaq, who spells his name SHAQ, and there's a Q in Shaq and Q of continuum, blah blah blah. I made like this. I made it out of a T-shirt, but I cut it to look like a basketball jersey that said Starfleet on the front, but done with like kind of, I think it was the Orlando Magic's looking text, and then like instead of the number, I put a big Q on the front, and then on the back I put Q, and then on the back I put the word, instead of where the last name would be, I put continuum. But in 1994, the word continuum was not in a dictionary anywhere. Like, that word was made up for the show, so I didn't know how to spell it, so I put it like continue, ending with the E, and then added UM. And then later on, I think in Star Trek novels or somewhere else, I saw it was just like WM, and I'm like, dang it, so... Anyway, so I performed that. They didn't have a microphone, so I'm basically just yelling it at the top of my lungs to this auditorium in Milwaukee, and it went over great, and I won their most humorous costume of the year, and I came back the next year, and I did Insane in the Brain, and then I skipped a year because I was working at the theme park doing caricatures that year in Kansas City. And then after that, they reached out to me like, hey, we missed you last year. The people who usually do our judging time aren't doing it anymore. Would you like to step in and be our new judging time act? And I'm like, would I? So that's when I showed up in 97, and by then I had put out both Fanboys in the Hood and Shadows of the Bunghole, and so I was kind of able to... That was really the beginning of me doing this as a major thing. So it all started with What's Up, Spock, basically. So anyway, just to point out a few parts of my lyrics that people might not know about, and I'd like to... That's Shoebox saying, I get it, in the middle of the first verse, right? Yeah. Yes. So the band Genesis, the one with Phil Collins, has a song, a hit of theirs from the 90s at some point, called I Can't Dance. It goes like, oh, I can't dance, I can't talk, only thing about me is the way that I walk. It's, something like that. And I always liked that song, and so I wanted to make the connection between the band Genesis and the Genesis weapon in Star Trek. So that's why I have the line, I can't dance like a Genesis weapon, which, if you have no idea what about the band Genesis having that song, that line makes no sense to anybody. Yeah. But Shoebox got it. So
I got it.
Yeah. Also, there's various things in the song. I mean, obviously for things like, so who is the captain in your neighborhood? It's like, it's referencing Sesame Street. At one point in the song, they're referencing the Batman theme, like all the guys are going, dunna, 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 Batman, like the old Batman theme. So that's why I have dunna, 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 data. So it's like, again, without having heard the original source material song, you have no idea why I suddenly stopped having regular lyrics and just went dunna, 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 like, did Luke really not have anything he could think of to say to fill up the rest of that line? It's like, no, I'm following the original song. So, when I was writing the song, because I did a lot of the writing of this song while I was like, I had a notebook with me while I was out working, doing manual labor at a golf course, and when I would think of lyrics, I would just stop and write them down. So because I didn't have the material in front of me, and also because, this was this was around, 94, so it's not like I had access to the internet anyway. In order to look this up, I basically had to find it on the TV show, and then be reminded that I was, wrong about something. I kept thinking it was Wolf 357 and not Wolf 359. So when I wrote the lyric, I've been howling 9/11 since Wolf 357, and then later when I found out that I was wrong, I'm like, crap, I can't change it now. I may have tried to think of a different line there, and I'm just like, I can't. I'm too set with what this is, so I'm just gonna say I'm howling 9/11 since Wolf 359 because. Numbers. Maybe people will think that's what I meant to do. So it was me having made a fandom mistake and correcting it. So it makes the song correct, but the lyric less
rhymey.
Good. Yes. And then to explain to people, so like I said before, the original version had 3 verses and then the Shaq verse. So then I had another song to the tune of Coolio's Fantastic Voyage called Fantastic Voyager. So it was a song about the show Voyager. So in my mind, I'm like, well, this is my way to continue What's Up Spock is just to keep doing a new song about every Star Trek show that comes out. And after I wrote Fantastic Voyager, I realized, well, wait, the first verse more or less sums up, what's going on in the show, and the second verse is the one that kind of lists off all the characters, like What's Up Spock does. So if I just took the second verse of Fantastic Voyager and then, put that into What's Up Spock, over that beat, that means I can add Voyager to the What's Up Spock song and, and make it a more complete thing. So that's what I decided to do. And for the record, the original version of Fantastic Voyager doesn't mention Seven of Nine because she wasn't on the show yet. It mentions Kes, I think, who ended up having to leave the show because of I don't know. I think the rumor I heard was that the actress had some kind of a drug addiction or something. And they basically felt like, well, this is a family show and we need to, not have people like that on the show or whatever. So they kind of wrote her out, wrote Seven of Nine in. They did bring Kes back later to kind of wrap up her character arc or whatever, but it was just strange. But anyway, the original Kes lyric was, I think, Kes with finesse will impress on the test, and the rest could have guessed as a nurse she's the best. I think that's what that lyric was.
That sounds right, yeah.
Yeah. And then at the end, because this was the flagship show that launched the UPN, that was episode 1 of Voyager launched the UPN, and then immediately following it was a sitcom starring comedian Richard Jeni called Platypus Man. And Richard Jeni is one of my all-time favorite stand-up comedians ever, like in my top 5 of all time. Like everyone thinks, or kind of points to Seinfeld as being like the ultimate 90s comedian, and to me it's like, yeah, Seinfeld's awesome, but Richard Jeni, for me, was just so much more hilarious. He had specials on both Showtime and HBO, and basically, since back then, all of the comedians were trying to get sitcoms like Roseanne and Tim Allen, et cetera, et cetera. It's like this was his attempt at doing a sitcom, was Platypus Man, which was named after one of his specials, and on it, it's like he's a guy doing a cooking show for guys who basically don't know how to cook. So, like, that's kind of his thing, and just kind of trying to work his type of stand-up bits into a sitcom. And the show only lasted 1 season, and I heard part of the reason for that was he pitched the show at Fox, and there was an executive there that didn't like it, so then he pitched it to UPN, and it got picked up, and then a year later, the executive from Fox that didn't like the show moved over to UPN and then canceled the show. So, and another Star Trek connection is that Ethan Phillips, who played Neelix, also was on Platypus Man, playing like kind of the in-house keyboard player band for the cooking show. So
I've met him at a con. He's a really nice guy.
Yeah. So again, things that Luke working in the most obscure of references. Stay tuned up next is Platypus Man. That's what that line means.
Yeah, I did not do anything quite so obscure with my new verses. I just kind of went straight for this is Star Trek, here are the characters. And
yeah. So, the John Archer verse, the Enterprise verse, comes from my song John Archer, which is a parody of Clint Eastwood by Gorillaz. And by then I kind of figured out, all right, well, I'm going to intentionally write it this way so that the second verse has all the characters in it and put that into What's Up Spock so I can keep that thing going. So that's why the version that's of What's Up Spock that's on my album Unconventional is kind of like the last version of that song I put out. And, I considered adding the Q verse, but I don't know. By then I kind of felt like, well, it doesn't necessarily need it, so to speak, anymore because Q wasn't really, around as much. But but that's how all of that worked out. I also wanted to point out, I don't know what the exact count is, but there's at least 2 songs where I reference the phrase, all your bass are belong to us. Probably more. Because, so, I don't know. I just hooked on that meme and just kept working it into songs. And at the very end, that's why, because it's a parody of the Clint Eastwood song, like the very end of the second verse is Del the Funky Homo Sapien going, as long as you remember, and then he whispers that it's all in your head. So you know, when I used to do it, it's like it used to be just as long as you remember that it's on UPN, you know, or at least that's the way I did it when I did it on the original version. But then for the What's Up Spock version, I'm like, well, let's flip it. Let's make it everyone shout it as long as you remember that it's on UPN, you know. So yeah, so that's all the, you know, things I wanted to point out for my version for any of the hardcore funny music fans who are interested in stuff like that. So here's my first question for you about your version.
Mm-hmm.
Have you watched Discovery?
Yes.
So have you been like watching it from the beginning?
Yes.
Okay. I did. That's the one verse of the 5 where you only mentioned Burnham and Saru and you didn't mention any of the other people on the ship.
Yeah.
Except Spock.
It was kind of Discovery of all the new shows. Discovery is my least favorite. Now, having said that, I like the show, but it's my least favorite, and so it's the show that I haven't rewatched. I've rewatched all the other episodes, all the other series at least once. This is the only one I haven't rewatched. So with this one, it was mostly focusing on what I could remember, which was Michael, Saru, and Spock, and and some of the things that like stood out to me as like, this is weird, even for a Star Trek show, like the spore drive and jumping ahead 1,000 years or 900 years or whatever it was, and the burn, stuff like that. So yeah, I didn't mention any of the other characters, but whatever.
It seems kind of, I mean, again, I like the show, and I continue to watch it, but it kind of turned into a hot mess as time went along, and it almost feels like what they really wanted to do was Strange New Worlds, but they couldn't pitch Strange New Worlds. They had to kind of so they created Discovery, to take place 10 years before Kirk, just so by, the end of season 1, it's like, oh, look who shows up. It's the Enterprise. What? And then season 2, it's like, oh, it's Pike and Spock and the people from before Kirk became the captain.
Yeah.
It was all like a stealth operation just to get Strange New Worlds happening. It's like, okay, you're done. You're all set up for the series. Okay, we're going to zip the 900 years in the future so that we can do plots that we don't have to worry about messing up continuity.
Right.
See you later.
Yes. That's exactly the feeling I got from it. It was like, let's just nope ourselves out of this timeline so we don't screw anything up, And the one thing that I think Discovery really gets wrong is Star Trek was supposed to be an optimistic future. It's a utopian society. They don't use money. Everything is great. Yeah, there's still problems. There's wars and stuff with other species because we're still exploring. But all the problems on Earth have basically been solved. And when they go 900 years in the future, all of a sudden it's apocalypse land. And it's like, no, that's not what you're supposed to do with Star Trek. This is not Mad Max, There's a great, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's a great scene in an episode of Deep Space Nine where Kira goes barging into Sisko's office, because she's upset about something, and Sisko's, immediately launches into his own rant, which completely makes Kira go, and he's like, what the problem with the Federation is? It's Earth. They're out there living in a paradise, and we're out here having to do real things and make real decisions. Well, they just sit there, and she's just like, yeah, yes, sir. Oh, that's why Sisko's
not to
awesome.
bring you two down, but have you heard Starfleet Academy is set in the far future?
Is it really? I have not heard that.
Yeah.
So after the Discovery future?
Well, maybe Tilly will be in it. I like Tilly.
Maybe. Yeah, I like Tilly too, yeah.
It's like when she left the show, I'm like, why are they getting rid of Tilly? And then I found out she got pregnant. Okay, fine. It's like, don't Joss Whedon my characters out of shows, dang it. So anyway,
I'm really proud of that Saru line, by the way. But he walks he's constantly fanning a fart. I don't know if you if you've ever seen Saru. I saw an interview with the actor, and he talked about coming up with a unique method for him walking, and I had never noticed it before I saw that interview. And then next time I saw him, he walks and he does this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is he just, passing gas and, so. I worked a fart joke into a song. I'm happy.
Also, I very much appreciated in the Picard verse that you referenced the game You Don't Know Jack.
Yes.
and I kind of wish you would have done it like had Ian and Shoebox say You Don't Know Jack along with you, because that's also the name of a Lukeski song.
Yes, I forgot about that actually. Yeah.
Also, you did bonus point for, of course, using the word cog.
Yes.
And
I thought it would be amusing to, like, basically my Picard verse is essentially a parody of the Next Generation verse.
Yes, I saw what you did there, and I was very happy about it. So I very much love the opening 2 lines of your Prodigy verse. Let's make a happy little show about bravery. We can start with orphans who were sold into slavery.
Yeah, because like when I went to watch Star Trek, I'm watching Prodigy for the first time, and I'm like, okay, it's a Star Trek show. It's animated. It's designed for kids, so it's aged down a little bit. I'm figuring it's going to be not as much violence, not as much mature topics. And the first episode is orphans in a mining colony who were slaves, and I'm like, really? I'm like, that's dark.
And the Temple of Doom.
So.
And referencing that Janeway is not a salamander, kudos to that.
I completely forgot about that Voyager episode. And somebody it came up in conversation somewhere that a lot of people consider that to be like the worst episode of Voyager. And then I was watching Prodigy, and she mentions that she turned into a salamander. And I was like, okay, well, now I have to reference that, in the song because they reference it.
They also reference it on Lower Decks in season 4. When they're towing the Voyager back to Earth to be like an official museum piece, and the guy like made his own little animatronic salamander as a display thing. I thought it was funny because one of the characters is named Rock Talk, or for short, just Rock.
Rock.
So it's kind of like Rock. What's up, Rock?
Yeah. So that's why there's a pause on the first time we say it is, can we rock? What's up, Rock? Can we rock? What's up, Rock? So it's even written that way in the lyrics.
I also enjoyed the mirroring of starting Strange New Worlds with Captain's Long, it's time to be beginning this 5-year mission. I'm Captain Christopher Pike. I very much appreciated that.
Yep, I just parodied that whole verse too.
Yeah. And you could have said, instead of in time to be beginning, you could have said it's time to re-beginning.
That's true. I could have.
Just a thought I had. And also I'm glad that you mentioned him singing slightly off key. For the musical episode.
Yeah.
Did you notice in the musical episode they were, the people who made the episode were fans of the musical episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which is why the show mentions bunnies.
Okay. Yeah. I was wondering about that, but yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And then Paramountia bye. I like that as my NBC bye. That was excellent. And to address there is sorry, I'm stumbling over my own words here. To address Shoebox's comment at the end about still no love for the original animated series, I guess the reason why I never did that way back when was, once again, it was 94. It wasn't, you couldn't easily get your hands on stuff unless you wanted to go to a million, video stores and places to find, where I could watch the animated series. But I guess in my mind, I knew that it was just the same cast from the original Star Trek. So it'd be like, what am I going to say about the same set of characters that I didn't already say in the first verse, And, years later, now I actually have watched all the animated series, and I know that there's the two characters, Imress, I don't know how to pronounce that, M''RESS, Mress, who's the Cajun woman, and then Eric's, who is that weird 3-armed alien guy. I forgot the name of his race, but...
Adosian.
Oh, thank you. And and both of those races have appeared on Lower Decks, so I'm glad that they're like keeping that through line. Especially Dr. Ta'ana, I love her so much.
Yes.
I love how she's just
And Spock's pet.
We can't find Ta'ana. Have you tried going? Pss, 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 pss? Yes, of course I've tried that.
or the whole episode where she's trying to get that thing, and at the end she just wanted the box. I just love that. I love that she swears. Oh, by the way, here's a funny thing I found out. Because on the other newer Star Trek shows, the characters swear, and you hear them say those words. But on Lower Decks, they bleep the swear words. And I found out the reason why they bleep the swear words on Lower Decks is because the creators of the show think it's funnier.
Okay.
And so it's like, all right, I can see
fair.
that.
That's fair.
I mean, yeah. And the other Star Trek series, quote unquote, that didn't get mentioned in any of these versions is there's a thing called short treks, where they made a bunch of individual short films that tie into Star Trek. Some of them just like little mini stories with characters from other series. Some are things they just made up. There's a really bizarre, hilarious one with H. John Benjamin that has to do with tribbles. That's like, mind-meltingly weird. And then they also when they were doing a bunch of they were kind of celebrating the anniversary of I think it was the 50th anniversary or something of the Star Trek the animated series, and they did a bunch of like what they called short treks, where it was just like little 2 or 3 minute animated things, playing off of the animated series and stuff like that. So I mean, I probably should try to get Imres and Eric's mentioned in a future episode, in a future song of some kind, just to make sure I didn't forget them.
Do a really short song about short treks.
Make it like one of Shoebox's, post-it note songs.
Yeah, exactly.
And
this is a song about short treks. That's it.
Yeah. I just had a thought in my head. Oh, that was the other thing I learned just today, because I didn't notice until just today that Chekhov isn't in the animated series, and I found out the reason why was because it was just budget, and they couldn't afford all of the actors, so they just had to pick one to leave out. So they just left out. They just left out Chekhov, and I guess basically the character Eric's took his role, or took his spot on the on the bridge crew, and Eric's apparently was voiced by James Doohan. So like Scotty voiced Eric's, and Majel Barrett voiced Mress. So because she was already on the show as Nurse Chapel.
But he got to write for the show.
Yeah. So anyway, so yeah, there were a couple other Trek things I wanted to mention, but they don't have to do with the song. So is there anything else song related that you wanted to bring up?
I don't know. I will admit to a bit of a crush on Tendi. So if anyone wants to cosplay as Tendi at a con that I'm at, I'd appreciate it.
Look up on Twitter and the other socials a cosplayer who's named Lucky Lemon. She does a lot of great cosplays, and she does both Tendi and T'Lyn, and she's awesome. And she does tons of other stuff too. But yeah, Lucky Lemon, she's cool. In fact, if I do get my Lower Deck song done quickly enough so that I can get it out there into the world, I do want to make some sort of video for it. It would probably be just me green screening myself with behind me would just be clips from the show, so I can talk about stuff. But I would like to get some, if I could find some Lower Decks cosplayers to send me in footage of them or something like that. So I was thinking of maybe reaching out to her to see if I could, pay her to, dress up as one or both of those and just chant Lower Decks or something like that. I don't know. I'll figure it out later. But
that'd be really cool.
The point is I have a lot of ideas, and it was nice at WonderCon wandering around, seeing a decent number of Star Trek's Lower Decks cosplayers, like either as specific characters or just wearing the specific outfit, So yeah. So So okay, see, Picard. I don't understand what was. It's like this. It's like the whole thing with I kind of feel like Star Wars episodes 7, 8, and 9. It's like the fact that like nobody seemed to be on the same page with what the plan was for the long run, which is how we ended up with, instead of it being, I mean, technically it is canon that 7 goes into 8 and goes into 9, but it feels among the fan base anyway, it's more like a choose your own adventure. There's 7, and then you get to decide whether or not you think 8 is the next part or 9 is the next part, you know? So that's the way I feel about Picard season 2 to season 3. It's like Picard season 2, they did all this stuff where it's like, oh, the whole thing they're setting up and leading to is that, oh, we're going to bring back Data somehow. And then when they finally do, they kind of do this whole thing where it's like, oh, it's actually, we're going to see Data virtually somewhere so that he can be finally allowed to die and we can properly say goodbye to Data, unlike the way we said goodbye to him back in Star Trek Nemesis. And I was like, oh, well, that sucks. I wanted Data to come back. I loved Data. And then it went away. So then season 3 comes along, and it was basically like, you know what? Let's just forget everything that happened in season 2 and write whatever fanfic we want. And yay, now we're bringing Data back again. It's like,
yeah, well, that's why I mentioned that Data is gone, but Brent Spiner still has 20 roles. Because he was Data, he was Lore, he was... the doctor and it's like,
or before
and
before what?
I'm blanking on the doctor's name who invented him.
Noonien
Sung, yeah.
So he's played even on Enterprise,
and like not only Noonien Sung, but Sung's like great grandson or whoever it was on the show. And
he also played someone from the Sung line in the show Enterprise when they were doing on Enterprise. They did a whole subplot, I think it was during the 4th season or so, that actually explained what happened to the Klingons and why the ones,
and that's the other thing about Discovery that pissed me off, because I was rewatching Star Trek in order, and I had just seen that episode of Enterprise that explained the look of the Klingons, and then I start watching Discovery, and I'm like, what the hell is that?
Yeah, that was... I think they have since kind of said, like, oh, that was some fanatical sect of Klingons that, like, they were over there with inbreeding and stuff. And so, like, technically they're still canon, but we're not going to mess with them anymore. Like, that was... I remember, like, everyone was complaining about how bad the Michael Bay Ninja Turtles looked, and, and then those Klingons came along. I'm like, no, it's like, that wins the award for worst character concept redesign. That thing is horrible, Anyway.
Oh, one thing I wanted to mention before I forget is I think there was the reason I mentioned this at the end of Picard is at the end of season 3 of Picard, and spoilers, Worf says to Riker, good. For a minute I thought we were going to survive this mission, and then they go off on their crazy mission. And then they get rescued at the end. And I really thought that Worf was going to look up and see the Enterprise and go, ugh, am I ever going to die? But he didn't. But that would have been the perfect line. But, so that's why I mentioned that in the song, because it's something I wanted to have happened on the show.
The interesting, and the other thing about Worf is that he holds the record for the Star Trek character that has the most screen time in Star Trek history. It's Worf, because he was on all of Next Gen and half of DS9 and in the movies.
Yeah,
I think second place goes to Miles O'Brien. So, and speaking of which, that's disappointing that it takes place in the way future, because when Deep Space Nine ended, Miles O'Brien was leaving DS9 to go back to Earth to teach at the Academy. So for the number of years that have passed since then in like the Prime universe where Lower Decks is going on, if like that's where Starfleet Academy should be happening, so that by now O'Brien is like he's the dean. He's runs Starfleet Academy.
That would be awesome. Yeah.
Because then that would tie into the joke in an episode of Lower Decks that said they implied that Miles O'Brien was the most important person in Starfleet history. It's like that would make that joke make sense, because like he guided, tons of people that did tons of stuff or whatever, something like that, So anyway, the only other thing I wanted to randomly mention, which is there was an episode of Strange New Worlds where Daniel Ortegas and pretty much everyone on the ship gets hit by this weird memory thing that like it's like everyone turns into Dory from Finding Dory. Nobody can remember anything. It's all like short-term memory, and they can't hold on to whatever was going on. And so Erica Ortegas, who's at the helm, who flies the ship, she suddenly has this realization that that's who she is, and she needs to get up to the bridge so that she can fly the ship. So she just keeps repeating to herself, "I'm Erica Ortegas. I fly the ship. I'm Erica Ortegas. I fly the ship." And she just keeps saying this over and over. Yeah.
Prepare to die.
So, and that happened, and then like an episode or two later is when they did the crossover with Lower Decks, and when Boimler comes on the bridge for the first time, and he's kind of like looking around, and he's like amazed, and he sees Ortegas, and he goes, his line is, "You're Erica Ortegas. You're a war hero." And I'm like, no! His line needed to be, "You're Erica Ortegas. You fly the ship." That's what it should have been. Dang it! But anyway,
missed callback joke. So last weekend at RavenCon, I performed this live for the first time, and I only screwed up a little bit. So, I got through it surprisingly well. You can hear that on the latest episode of The Insider, which is now available. I grabbed a couple of the recordings from RavenCon, and including this one. So you can hear me screw it up a little bit.
And I forgot which person who said it on Facebook suggested that we do a live performance where I do the first half and you do the second half. I'm all about that. Let's totally do that.
Yep, I'm all for it.
FuMPFest, so word.
All right, that's all I got.
All right, cool. Let's move on to the next part of the show.
All right, let's do, what is the next part of the show? Oh, yeah. Feedback.
Amazing.
Making the internet absolutely ridiculous. Dementia Radio.
www.dementiaradio.org. Port 8027.
Please hang up and try again.
This is the part where there's feedback. 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 You know that segment of the show we do about now? Feedback. Feedback. Feedback.
Feedback. Oops, wrong one. This one.
Alvarant
wrote, "I'm glad Ian enjoyed Galena. My first IT job out of college was making the first websites for some of the businesses there, like the Great American Popcorn Company. That was over 25 years ago, and the website has changed hands since then. I stopped visiting Galena when some of my favorite places closed and or discontinued selling items I liked. But it's a good place to visit when you need to get out of Chicago for a while." Thank you, Alvarant. And over on YouTube, we got a couple of comments.
Hamner hack.
Hamner hack wrote, "I have an idea. Now, I know it can't go on the album, but how about organizing a choir of Fumpers to sing Tom Lair's A Christmas Carol at FuMPFest to be released in December? Get them all to wear Christmas sweaters for the music video." I like that idea. Remind me when FuMPFest planning happens, we're closer to the event. We should figure out a way to do this, because I like that idea. And
A-Log! Oh my god, it's you, not again!
A-Log wrote, "First off, glad to hear Wacky Ben on the show again. Here's hoping you guys can speak to each other again. Second, while I'm happy to hear that someone from VH1 was interested in finding comedy musicians for a new show, it does show me that there are people out there that still remember Dr. Demento existing and not as the redheaded stepchild of radio DJs. Well, at least MTV were cool to let him do the top 10 countdowns for 2 April Fool's Days back to back. And third, Devo and Luke, since you're both devotees of hip-hop, I have to ask. There's some new videos out on YouTube that claim Kid and Play were industry plants. As of me writing, one such video from FD Signifier is next to your video with several other recommendations. What are your thoughts on this? I find it weird that they got that accusation since neither had a crossover hit in the top 40 back then." I've never heard that accusation, and I haven't watched any of the videos you mentioned. Go ahead, Luke.
I didn't understand some of the words you said. What were you talking about? Kidney plants?
Kid and Play.
Oh,
no, the rappers, Kid and Play. Hola, hola, eh.
Yeah, I know who Kid and Play are, but read the sentence again that has that part, because I think the words got garbled on my technology.
There are some new videos out on YouTube that claim that Kid and Play were industry plants. That's basically it. One guy
So that the record industry manufactured Kid and Play to be a hip hop act?
Maybe
is their big accusation?
I don't know. I'd have to look at what these videos are. But I did read the Kid and Play Wikipedia, and from that, it says that they met in high school. They were part of rival rap groups at the time from two different schools. Then they teamed up and released a couple of songs. Then changed their names to Kid and Play and went on and got signed from there. The only other thing I could find that might be related is there was a 2023 reboot of the House Party films, and it portrays their fictional personas as members of a cult, strongly implying that they sold their souls for wealth and fame. So maybe that's playing into it somehow. I don't know. But
I saw that movie, and it was pretty funny. And it was I just saw it as like, hey, it's a cameo, you know? So
yeah. So I don't know. I'll have to watch these videos that he mentioned, and
to me that just seems like such a weird, overblown. It's like what you're saying. Music executives in the '80s, tried to find people to make them rock stars or hip hop stars. Like, oh.
Yeah,
but
exactly. Yeah, that's what all the boy bands are. New Kids on the Block, NSYNC. That's what they are. They're industry creations. But I didn't, from reading Kid and Play's history on Wikipedia, I didn't get that impression from them.
Yeah.
But it's
No,
I mean,
what you're really talking about is Milli Vanilli.
Milli Vanilli, yeah, them
rapped.
too.
Yeah, if Kid and Play are writing and rapping their own songs, then they are doing the thing that we are, quote unquote, paying them to do.
Yeah.
It's like, I bought your album to hear you rap your songs that you wrote, and that's what you did, and you got the money and I got the album. Win.
And also,
where's the controversy?
Kid and Play have put out 3 albums, one in 1989, one in 1990, and one in 1991, and they haven't done anything since. So, like, why now? It's not like they were, like, taking over top 40 radio in 1990. So I'm like, yeah, they had hit songs, but they weren't, blowing up the charts. So I don't know.
Yeah, there's like these kind of cumulative like 90s hip hop like mega shows that are happening around major cities here and there. So like I see them listed on those, and it's like, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you
Right.
get together with Tone Loc and Salt and Peppa and
Yeah, exactly.
et cetera, and do a show? So
I don't know.
yeah.
All right. Well, that's all the feedback we got. So
Teasing. He's a teasing kind of guy. Now you have a job.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's song is by Toby Danger.
Ooh.
And Tuesday's song is by Paul Wensley. And Brett Glass in the chat came up with a Spotify theme, Star Wars, since May the 4th is coming up on Saturday. So I will do that. That's a good idea. Thank you, Brett. All right. Dr. Pinkerton, plug yourself one more time.
All right. I have something important to announce that years from now, you will be thinking about when you watch this for the first time, and you will remember the words that came out of my mouth. I, Dr. Pinkerton, am declaring that in the fall of this year,
we lost your audio, Dr. Pinkerton. We can't hear you. Let me.
He's certainly making a lot of gestures.
Yeah, we can't hear you. Yeah, we got nothing, and we lost the video. Okay. And I've pinned something that is not there anymore. Okay, good. Wow. All right. Well,
so people remember when they worked in Imaginary Lawyer at the beginning of the show, I think is what he meant to say. Because that was... Yeah.
Yeah. All right, and Devo Spice is at devospice.com, and don't forget to pick up my new album Cover Up tomorrow on Bandcamp at devospice.bandcamp.com. All right.
Woohoo!
Let's get out of here. Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. I'm Devo Spice.
I'm Luke Ski, and the COG are
Thank you for listening
with
to the
technical
Funny Music
difficulty.
Podcast. You can listen live every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific at DementiaRadio.org and join us in the chat. Or subscribe to the podcast feed. Look us up on iTunes and be sure to leave us a review. Feedback for the show can be sent to info@thefump.com. The Funny Music Podcast is a production of Fidem Interactive, LLC, released under a Creative Commons share-alike license. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, shout it to random people on the street, and be sure to visit thefump.com for the latest funny songs. Tune in next week where you'll hear Luke Ski say,
Bow to Jankum Pog! Pog.